Okay. And
Okay, let's talk.
take one.
Take one. Okay, what do you want to know? Tell me, what do you want to know?
Well, we're going to start with, I'm going to do my
Yeah,
introduction
you do
from
your
this angle.
Mhm.
Hey everybody, Duston Farrell here, host of Living in the Ozarks. Today we are visiting with Sigi Hill, and we'll be talking about cost segregation. Before we dive into that, we're going to talk a little bit about Sigi's a little more personal background and passions, things that she having to do with her earlier part of her life. You're not from here, I know that, but everybody else doesn't know that.
Okay.
So tell us where you grew up and how did that shape you? How did it make you who you are today? So where you grew up, let's start with that one.
I grew up in Germany.
Okay, where at in Germany?
2 hours east of Cologne, in a little town called Warstein.
No clue.
Okay, that's not a problem. It's one of the most famous beers in Warstein, in Germany.
Is that right?
Yeah. So, if that is of interest for anybody.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So I grew
You're
up
fine.
with children of the brewery.
This is no holds barred. I've just got my notebook here, so don't mind me.
It is one of the most famous beers in Germany, so for the Germans it's important.
Sure. Now, I think we all have priorities, and I think that is certainly so what was childhood like?
What childhood is?
Did you live in a house? Not to say.
As a matter of fact, yes, my mother built a house. No, building a house in Germany is different than here.
Sure.
We built here on sticks. In Germany, they built with concrete blocks, and so that was totally different. But she built a house when I was in my probably 12 years old, something like that. And so I got involved into construction a little bit already at that time, and in architecture, and so I noticed that was something that I would be interested in the future, but it was not actually what I chose as a profession at that time. But anyways, you get formed by your environment.
Right.
And interesting people that see actually, oh, you have a talent for that, you could actually do that. Okay. So, anyways,
it's interesting.
It was a childhood that like everybody else would hear. It's not any different. It's
Sure.
just a little bit different in cultures, but other than that, we're all Westerners. We're all civilized people.
Yeah.
So,
What's the most unique cultural difference that you recall? If you could pick one thing, what would be the most unique cultural difference growing up in Germany versus here?
That's a good question. Several people have asked me that, particularly when I first moved here, and Dan brought me here as his souvenir. He was visiting in Germany at that time, and we happened to meet in Munich when I was actually starting a new career with a company in Munich. So, and that company was an American company. And that company was going to be my gateway to get to the United States before I met Dan.
Sure, before. That's pre-Dan.
That's
It's kind of like pre-COVID or
yeah,
pre-Dan.
Anyways, I don't think that there is that much on cultural differences between the countries. Because, keep in mind, we're all civilized, we're all educated, we're all grown in...
Some days it's questionable, but that's not the topic of today's discussion.
I don't think that there is much cultural differences.
Sure.
I did not know that. Of course, we have habits, We have different habits, but I wouldn't call it cultural differences.
Now, this is from the perspective of young Sigi.
Mm-hmm.
What did you want to do growing up?
I was torn between being in architecture or being a nurse.
Wow. Those are kind of,
Yes,
they're both science related.
So my mother was working in the local hospital at that time about the time when I was graduating. And so I was attracted actually to all this hospital and helping people and being around medicine. Mm-hmm. And so I actually chose then to go into an internship in the hospital to become a pediatric nurse. And but during my internship, I was confronted with some very serious cases, as you can imagine. And I was on different floors that I had to go through internship. and there was some people that died, and that got under my skin.
Sure.
And so I couldn't imagine to be around cases where children would die. So I chose not to pursue that career.
Yeah, I can see that.
Before I even got further into it. So I got actually started in a business, in a company, that as a front clerk. So I worked myself up through that, and
good.
Went then actually into a business academy and got my education as a business administrator and operator.
Okay, very interesting. Who do you, this would be the inspiration section, what would you consider to be the most influential person in your life? Or persons, but I would prefer just one person. Who do you, if you could pick one?
You mean as
a child, as a youngster, as a youngster growing up? Influence the person that you are today.
Influence the person that I'm today. Of course, there's several people, but anyway.
You can name them.
It's so long ago. So long ago. I would not even know how to name them. What later on became, as I was moved to Munich then and worked for this engineering firm, it became leaders like Robert Kiyosaki.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with Robert Kiyosaki?
Sure.
So business has, after I started my education as a business administrator, business became really my forte. And business organization, business administration, and I was the administrator for the German manager for an American company. And so organizing business and organizing meetings and organizing the entire sales team for the engineering firm and connecting them to the United States, that became really my forte.
Any other people?
In the course of that, I was involved in different avenues to attend also business advanced education, and in the course of that met a lot of business leaders and had great leadership and great influences by capacities, and that continued also when I moved to the United States, because business did become my main interest. Business operation, business functionalities, any business, not just a particular one.
Any other people that you want to mention?
And another person that really impressed me was Paul Van Pilzer. He used to be, at the time when I listened to him, he in the United States was a top economist in the country. And brilliant man, just like Robert Kiyosaki. Brilliant man. So I learned a lot from meetings like that, built my leadership around that.
Yeah. Well, we'll switch gears a little bit, and you've already kind of alluded to this, so we have to exclude Robert Kiyosaki, but is there a book, movie, or life experience that changed the way you think?
That changed the way I think?
Influenced the way you think?
Well, I tell you what, growing up in Europe and then living in this country, you do have two different world of perspectives. And at the time when I was growing up, and that was of course after war, and the transition from Russia into opening up to the Iron Curtain coming down, President Reagan having the influence. So you're starting to see two different worlds out of my perspective, and you get a little bit of a broader perspective about human life and our societies. So that has become some of my I would say influences.
Sure.
In how we live today.
Interesting.
Making sure you take care for the future to secure yourself and be aware about your surroundings.
I think that, especially in America, I think we take for granted a lot of things that we have.
Because you don't have all the influences. That's my explanation for that. So that I came to that conclusion just in the conversations initially when I moved here.
Yeah.
So many people had no idea what was going on in Europe, or what was even going outside of the state of Missouri going on. And so I started, thinking about it. How's that possible? Because I'm so influenced by Europe, the different countries that are all together. There are different cultures that are existing next to each other, and you can visit within a couple of hours. You're in a different area, either in France or in Austria, and you don't have that influence because this country is so large. Many people don't even bother about going anywhere, and why should they? Because this country is fantastic and large, and anything available that you're looking for.
Right.
From motorcycling to hiking and biking and whatever.
You're right. So we're going to move to a little bit different topic and talk about some of your hobbies and habits. Habits and hobbies. Mm-hmm. Hobbies and habits. What is something that you do every day that helps you to stay grounded?
When I get out of the office.
However you want to answer that, it's up to you.
It could be cooking. It could be taking a walk with my husband, and just
Is that Dan
interacting.
Guy? Is that Dan guy?
Yes, that Dan guy. Right. So, interacting with friends and conversations with friends and different topics that we cover, or being in the garden, or designing something in my house, or
we talked about gardening a little bit earlier.
Yeah, gardening is one of my big hobbies that I love. Now,
in regards to gardening, what specifically is your favorite part of gardening? Is there anything? Is it herbology, or is it just in general?
Herbology became actually one of my main topics because I use that to keep my family healthy.
Sure.
And so over the years, I became skilled in using herbal medicine for keeping my family healthy. And so that's, when our children were small, I had quite a large herbal garden, which I don't have anymore, and our children are gone. So my garden has reduced to just a few herbs anymore, but culinary herbs and still growing herbs that would be essential for keeping us healthy, getting us through winter and infectious times,
God knows we need that for sure. Is there everybody recharges in a different way. Some people, it's going to a networking event. That's me. I enjoy that. How do you recharge on a daily basis? What charges your battery?
Reading, talking with friends, meeting with friends, also going to events, and sometimes just personal events, or having dinner with somebody, or attending group meetings. And now the recent one is the REI, and which has really become quite a large involvement, which I didn't anticipate. But anyways, meeting other people and talking with other people and building relationships.
Right.
That's a good part of, I feel that's a good part of relation. But I also do this during the day when I'm talking with my clients too, because I learn every day from them.
Yeah. It's funny how that works, isn't it?
It is, yes.
And regarding your clients, let's go ahead and now dive into what your role is. What exactly is are you considered a representative?
Yeah.
And the name of the business is?
I'm a business consultant by trade.
Okay.
So, but I chose to represent CSSI, which is Cost Segregation Services. And they're located, headquarters is located in Baton Rouge. And so that has grown to become my only representative services.
And what is your role and experience in that industry? Like, what do you do on a daily basis?
On a daily basis, I talk with building owners, commercial building owners that own commercial property, and CSSI specializes in interpreting the commercial building tax laws and tax codes to assist building owners in accelerating components on commercial buildings into shorter tax lives. So it's CSSI is an engineering firm. So here we go back to engineering again. Yep. And so I love the engineering, the mathematical calculation part, and figuring out what can we do for a client to help them reduce their tax liability.
So for those people who don't know what cost segregation, what is that? Give us a simple version of that. If you were talking to a 6-year-old, maybe a 10-year-old, maybe not a 6-year-old, but a 10-year-old or a 15-year-old, how would you explain that?
Well, for one thing, there's tax laws. There's tax laws that are specifically designed for commercial buildings and to help analyze what components in a building can be used to reduce the tax liability for a commercial building owner, or I should say an income producing commercial building. And so what that means is when you're looking at a building, any building, they are typically depreciated over a certain number of years. If it is residential, it's 27 and a half years. If it is a commercial building, office building, medical, whatever, it would be 39 years. But however, there's components in every building that will not last that long. So why would you want to depreciate them over 39 years or 27 and a half years when you can when they're gone in 5 years? So that doesn't make sense. So the tax law allows to identify which of the components in the building can be put into shorter tax lives. So it's typically components on the building that are removable from a building, that are not necessarily essential for the functionality of the building. So they can be moved into shorter tax lives. However, it takes, if you want to do it right and maximize the benefits for the taxpayer, the building needs to be studied. So what CSSI does is we have an engineering team at the home office that literally take the plans and also the data that is provided by the client and segregate a building out into its bits and pieces, parts and pieces. And so which of the components of the building can be accelerated. So, and it's for many buildings, there's different components. And but there is a standard, of course, that we have to go by. And then we calculated out what the value would be if they go into shorter tax lives. And so we prepare all the calculations, the mathematical calculations, and also the listing of each item that we accelerate and put this in reports, and that's what we deliver to the accountant, to the tax accountant of the building owner, so that they can actually file it with the taxes.
So you're helping business owners and or commercial property owners to accelerate their tax depreciation.
Correct.
Save a little bit of money on the short term.
A little bit of money can be quite a bit.
Okay, but I mean, you're right.
That can be significant.
Yeah, excellent. And
it needs to be done, of course, by tax code. So you cannot exceed the tax codes.
Right.
Then you become illegitimate. So
and you're not an accountant, too. I just want to get that part out of the way.
I'm not an accountant.
I'm not an accountant. She's not an accountant.
No.
Dan, are you an accountant? Nope.
I'm into the marketing part, but I'm fascinated with all the training that the company provides, and so.
But your company has accountants on staff.
No, we are not accountants. The company is not an accountant.
It's an engineering firm.
It's an engineering firm that specializes in these tax codes, in the interpretation of these commercial tax codes. However, we are the support system for the accountants. So because of our knowledge, we can provide the accountants that have mostly no knowledge about these tax codes. We teach and train them, and we also provide them guidance so that they know what to look for their clients, how they can actually benefit their clients with a study like this, and then we provide the reports for them, and we also provide the guidance for them to file it as well, because that's often missing as well. So we are really a guidance.
And I know the answer to this question, but I'm still going to ask it. How many lawsuits has your company been through? I mean, surely that's an area of concern.
To start to pre that.
Well, I guess I should clarify, not just lawsuits, but
also audits. You mean?
Yes, audits. There you go. Wrong terminology.
Yeah, that's okay. Not a problem. First of all, these are tax codes. So these studies do not trigger an audit, and they do not trigger a lawsuit. If you don't do it right, yes, it will. Because you need to look into the aspect that you're mingling in the IRS's money that they could receive upfront, and so if you do it right and follow their tax codes and their rules and regulations, then there is no problem. But
Right.
if you exceed that illegitimately, of course they will audit you and penalize you.
You're going to be in trouble.
And so, but to answer your question, we have done, I believe, close to 60,000 studies in 21 years, and it's pretty impressive. And there's no company in the country that has done these kind of amount of studies.
60,000?
Yeah, close to 60,000, and not a single one of them has been overturned. From what I know from our operations, is we clients that have been in audits from our company, or that are clients to me and to other reps. Maybe 10, 12 of them had been in audits in all these years. So cost segregation does not trigger an audit,
Yeah.
but clients can be audited for other reasons.
Right.
And so our studies have been, of course, at times questioned, but by the documentation that we provide, none of the studies have ever been overturned, not a single one.
Right.
And we provide actually a client audit protection that is quite extensive, and even extends beyond the study as long as the building owner owns the building that we studied on. So if they are audited 10 years down the road, our audit protection would still protect them, and we've never had to use our audit protection.
Another question about, what do you think that, and I'm sure we all know the answer to this question, but what do you think the most favorite part of your job is?
When I deliver the results.
Like
Yeah, when
helping them save money?
The finalized reports and
having to pay less taxes?
Yeah, so when clients, particularly when clients have been very, how should I say, careful and not knowing enough about it, so they were a little bit concerned, is how beneficial is this for me, and is this going to be okay? So when I deliver then studies and they turn out much higher, 20-30% higher than what we estimated, so their benefits have increased, and then we even help their accountant guide them through how to apply this to their tax returns. And I'll give you one example. I had a client, a small business owner that I studied, I believe, 9 buildings of their 17, and that generated such a large tax deduction for them that the client delightfully called me, emailed me, and told me that this is going to prevent them from having to pay taxes for 2 years.
Wow.
That's pretty successful.
Yeah, yeah.
It makes me happy.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's what I'm looking for, that I can help the clients to actually realize there is benefits available for them.
Right. Tell us a story of the most unexpected challenge that you faced, and how did you overcome it? If any. Maybe there's not any.
The most unexpected challenge.
Most unexpected challenge that you were able to
You
overcome.
mean professionally or personally?
Sure. Oh, well, touche. Let's go. This is focused on the business side, so
Okay.
let's focus on professionally.
Yeah. The most say that again. The most unexpected challenge.
Yeah, tell us a story of the most unexpected challenge that you faced, and how did you overcome it?
Maybe my first project
Yeah.
that I got involved in, and I was talking to a business friend of mine,
Mm-hmm.
and he was so apprehensive to even consider cost segregation because he felt that his accountant was very aggressive,
Sure.
and probably did the best job, and I was able to convince him to at least do an estimate with me, and that showed up some benefits even after owning the building already for several years, and so it ended up in confrontation with the accountant. Not a confrontation, I should say that, but the accountant was he wanted to know why his accountant hadn't used particular sections. And so we had a conference call about this, and his accountant was honest enough to say, I'm not an engineer.
Yeah.
So out of that grew and I learned through that actually to lead my client, my business friend, to actually trust the system and just give it a try.
Sure. In other words, it's not the accountant's fault.
Correct.
Because they're not an engineer.
Right. And so it ended up so successful that he is a repeat client for me for a number of years. Every year that he has new buildings that he acquires or builds, he comes back. And he already warns me in summer, I'm coming in fall with so many more. So, but to get him, actually to lead him to the point, just give me an opportunity to show you what could be possible. If it turns out that there is no benefits for you, the estimate will show that. And if there is no benefits, I have no problem you saying I don't need it.
Right.
But it turned out so successful for him that it has become a major part of his business investment.
Yeah, that's fantastic. If you could go back in time, what is one piece of advice that you would give yourself at the start of your career in cost segregation?
We should have gotten into real estate much earlier. Because, of course, now we grow into investors ourselves, and it really thrilled me to see some of the economic reports of the clients that I'm reviewing with our team in order to figure out what can we do for this client. And so these economic reports have really inspired me to get involved in real estate investment. Yeah. And we should have done this, when we hear our young people in the investor group talking about their involvement, or just even last week with Titan Title. Yep. When you hear these young people, they just out of their innocence and not having any preparations of danger or what could be wrong in their life, or how could they lose, they're going so innocent into this, and boom, they are just overcoming challenges and growing into that. I mean, if we had done this, probably would be better off today.
Yeah, fair enough. So all the young people out there listening, what is a guilty pleasure snack that you have that you like?
Oh,
what do you go for when you need
a
little fix?
Chocolate.
Sorry, what was that? Chocolate.
How could it not be chocolate?
Ice cream. I agree. If you had to perform one song at karaoke, what would that be? You were going to sing one song for karaoke. What song would that be?
There's a lot of them. And I love music.
Yeah?
Yes. And we have a beautiful sound system, so now I really enjoy music.
Yeah.
And there would be some songs. Do you want me to name them?
Yeah, come on. That's what we're here for.
Hoetannen.
What's that? What's that song?
It's a German song, Tall Firs.
Okay.
Fir trees.
Okay,
tall fir trees. It's a very old song out of the mountainous areas in central Germany.
Huh.
And woven around
I would not have seen that coming.
fairy tale.
And another. That's good. That's interesting.
Yeah.
What's another? I said one song, but now I'm deviating and saying maybe 2 songs, 3 songs.
That I would sing in a karaoke.
Sure.
I don't know that I would do that.
Well, but we're gonna.
But here at home, I do.
That's okay. Maybe Dan's your only audience, and the cat.
Yeah, that's right. There's lots of them. If you had told me that, I would have been bringing you a list. I would have brought you a list because there's so many. When on the weekends we listen, we have of course radio going and listening to music or recorded music, and so there's always something that you can sing to. And I do love also the oldies, the American oldies. So not just German oldies.
So when you say
oldies.
American oldies, what are you talking? What era are you talking? Are you talking 30s, 40s, 40s, 50s?
60s, 70s.
50s, 60s. Okay, 60s, 70s. So this is what style, what genre?
Music that has actually a melody in it that you can sing to.
So are you thinking like Everly Brothers, or are you thinking...
Everly Brothers, what's that? I do not know that.
You don't know. You'll have to look it up.
Okay. Again,
that's okay.
I just love music.
That's okay. I do
anything
too.
Anything that sounds good and has a melody that you can sing with or hum with.
I enjoy music as well, but I like a pretty big variety. But this is not really about me. This is about you. Anything that has changed your mind about life recently, professionally or personally. Anything that has influenced you? I think we've already kind of touched on that, but is there anything else you'd like to...
Can you define that a little bit?
Well, it might be... To me, I'm looking more for something that's changed your way of thinking. Where maybe you felt this way before, and now today you've changed.
Yeah, there's one thing that comes to my mind right now, and that's guns. Because, that's one of my favorite groups.
Yeah, guns.
Guns is, when I first came here into this country, I didn't understand why are people so crazy about guns. Because in Germany, guns is not something that you carry on you, or that would be allowed. Hunting is not, is basically preserved for certain income levels because it's very expensive and not very common. The common person wouldn't do that. And just the same thing with playing golf. It's very exclusive in Germany to play golf. And I'm a tennis champion in my youth. So that's something I loved and was good at. And so over the years living here in this country, I've always asked myself, why are people so keen on guns? And so eventually it dawned on me when I learned more and more about the Constitution of this country and the history of this country. And I love researching and history. And so it dawned on me why it was so important to actually the Second Amendment. To have the Second Amendment, to have the First Amendment. The First Amendment is very neglected in Germany, in Europe at all, very neglected. The Second Amendment is prohibited, verboten. And so that's opened my eyes here to a total different perspective about freedom.
Interesting.
About freedom.
I got you.
And what this country stands for.
Right.
And we need to preserve that.
For sure. What is one thing that you're excited about the future of cost segregation?
That's an industry that will continue to exist whether we have bonus depreciation or not. Because it opens up avenues for the commercial building owners that without the cost segregation they would not have access to.
Sigi, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way they can get a hold of you? Is there a work number, email, website that you want them to reach out to you?
Best way is phone.
Okay.
And email.
And tell everybody what those are.
Phone number is 417-840-2179.
Okay.
And email is Sigi at
Wolf. Spell that out for them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not Zigi.
I know. There's all kinds of different.
That's right. So it's Sigi. So Sam, India, George, India.
Yeah.
At wolfcrestllc.com. So it's Wolfcrest, WOLF, Crest, CREST,
okay.
LLC.com.
Okay.
That's the easiest way to get a hold of me.
Okay. So those two ways. If anybody has any questions or wants to deep dive with her about their business or their commercial building, definitely feel free to reach out at... Now, is that number your work number or is that a cell?
That's my cell phone number,
okay.
Which I always have on me.
Sure. Okay. So
I answer the phone also on
feel
Sundays.
free to reach out. We're going to move into the rapid fire segment.
Okay.
This is the really fun part.
Okay, let's go.
I'm giving you a choice between, let's say, for example, tea or coffee. And you just simply blurt out which one you prefer. Your choice, doesn't matter.
Okay.
If you need clarification, that's fine. I can do that. So coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Mountain or beach?
Both.
Nope. You don't get both. One or the other.
Probably mountains.
Okay. Superpower, invisibility or flight?
What was that?
You have a superpower, invisibility or flight?
What do you mean by flight?
You get to fly. Or you get to be invisible. Your choice. You get this superpower.
Fly.
Fly. Good choice. Pizza or tacos?
Pizza.
Summer or winter?
You mean Missouri summers?
I would say yes, but...
Summer, spring, summer, that's...
You like summer better?
Yeah.
Books or movies?
Books.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
I already knew the answer to that one. That's funny. Now, what kind of chocolate in particular do you like the best? Do you have a preference, like dark chocolate, milk chocolate?
Dark chocolate. Milk chocolate is very sweet. So.
I don't. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I think dark chocolate is probably my favorite. I don't think that. Back when I was younger, I feel like that there was less dark chocolate, and it was just all milk chocolate. And I was like,
yeah,
and it was fine because that's all I knew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then once I was introduced to dark chocolate, it was like, say la vie,
yeah, I guess we're
milk
growing
chocolate.
up and we have more of an understanding, so we hopefully make our choices a little bit more educated.
Gosh, yes, absolutely. Gosh, I mean, you were thinking, are we going to have time to get done? And we've got 10 minutes to spare.
10 minutes to spare. So how are we going to kill that time?
No, it's fine. I think I'd just like to wrap up by saying thank you for having us out. If these conversations resonate with you, consider subscribing to Living in the Ozarks. And if there's a business, organization, or person we should be talking to, drop their name in the comments below. We're always looking for great stories.